What's up everyone, James here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Tropical Formula Bug Bites by Fluval, or Fluval. The reason why I want to have a look at this is that I've heard a lot of hype about it, a lot of talk about it, people rave about it and say it's a really great product. And always for me, I'm a little bit skeptical when you hear lots of people. It's just part of my nature, I think, but like I just wanted to see kind of what the fuss was about. The reason why I wanted to try it primarily is because in my natural aquarium behind me, I have hatchet fish, and I found feeding certain foods, sometimes they're a little bit fussy, and if the food isn't at the surface, they tend to miss it because they're surface dwellers, and yeah, sometimes I feel like they're not getting fed enough. So I thought, yeah, like I said, a lot of rave about this. This is a food that is slow sinking, and yeah, let's have a look at it. Also, the other reason why I wanted to try it is that it contains insect larvae, I think it's fly, and yeah, I just thought, well, hatchet fish, you know, like I said, they feed off the surface, and maybe something like this helps replicate a bit more of a natural food source that they would have in the wild. There's rumors and things, details online or whatever. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but according to the internet and things I've read, hatchet fish have been known to jump out of the water to catch bugs and flies that are above the surface. I know that they jump because when I went to my local fish shop, one of the people at the shop was trying to catch one of the fish, and it flew out of the aquarium and hit the floor, one of the fish. It did survive, but thankfully I didn't buy that one. But yeah, so I know that they're good jumpers, which is why that you should have a very tight fitting lid, or if you're going to have them in an open aquarium, then make sure that there's stuff that's covering the surface so that they don't jump. As I've said, I'm just a little bit interested to see what you know, what the product's like and stuff after all the hype. And yeah, I decided to go on Amazon and purchase myself a little pot. This pot is 45 grams and it cost around £6. Yeah, which I don't know, it's subjectable if that's a good amount of money to pay. A good analogy or example of this is that I have another product here called Guppy Granules. Now this is a very fine granule like the Bug Bites, and this, you know, often stays at the surface. Every time I fed my fish, it kind of stays at the surface, and my hatchet fish love it. So, and this is let me just grab the website. This is, like I said, this is from a local UK aquatics company called Aquatics, and their product is $4.99, and that's 133 grams, so it's slightly cheaper, and you're obviously getting more for your money in this sense. I think my point really is, are Bug Bites worth it? Because there is other products on the market, like I said, the Guppy Granules, and also there's these which I have from for my Betta. It's called Betta Gran by Sarah, and they're very fine granules as well. So like if I open the pot, I don't know if you can see in the camera there, but they're very fine granules as well, kind of like the Bug Bites and everything. And I fed them to, I know they're for Bettas, but I fed them to my hatchet fish and they really like them, and a lot of my other fish do. So yeah, it's hard to tell really if you know, if it's worth spending the money on a product like Fluval's Bug Bites. So to give an example in comparison to the Bug Bites, the Guppy Granules that I have, the ingredients are more sort of, you've got your proteins, your fat, but there's a lot of additives and colorants and stuff. So as I said, I think the real selling point to the Bug Bites is the fact that it's a very organic style of food. You could argue still though, in my opinion, that you can't get more organic than live foods, or maybe frozen foods even, which tend to, you know, well, they're not a fine granule that's crushed up, so it's a little bit like, are they, you know, is it more beneficial to feed live foods than it is these kind of pellets? In terms of the product itself, let me just show you. It doesn't really smell fishy or anything, but they're very fine granules like the like the other products that I have here, when feeding them, I found that you don't have to use a lot at all. You can scoop a very tiny amount and it'll just, yeah, there'll be more than enough to feed whatever kind of fish you've got there. So it's not worth grabbing a big scoop and then just, you know, sort of dumping it into the aquarium, because you'll probably end up overfeeding your fish. Probably the perks to the product as well is that it's a nice plastic solid bottle. It's not like something that you could break easily, and the lid's, you know, a nice plastic as well, so that's really good. Probably the only downside that I'd say is that it would be nice to have a spoon. Like, I don't understand why products that have fine granules or fish feed have a spoon or some feeder system. I've got some other feeds from NT Labs, and on the top of theirs is like a dispenser, kind of like how you would have a salt and pepper dispenser. So you can sort of, you know, disperse food that way easily just by shaking it, as opposed to scooping. All you parents out there, top tip, you know, I use these baby formula scoops, and they're actually really handy for scooping out the food and then feeding to the fish. So if you've got one of them lying around, that's a great benefit to you. In terms of feeding the food and the kind of fish that would like it, all of my fish seem to readily take this food. I've had no problems with my hatchet fish. I've got tetras, I've got a betta fish, and a few other different types. I've got cichlid, gourami, and yeah, they love the stuff, and I've even given it to my shrimp, and they go a bit wild for it as well. So it's really good, and like I said, for shrimp it's perfect because it's very fine granules, so it means that, like all my other fish as well, they don't consume too much energy trying to eat big chunks of food, so that is a big perk to having very fine granuled food. So is it worth it then? I would say, yeah, for me it's worth checking out, definitely. Whether I have noticed any benefits to my fish, it's really hard to tell. I think with food, it's just like, if people are telling you, yeah, it's fantastic, that it might be from what they've read on the label, but I think you have to try a product like this for, you know, a good year or so, or even 6 months, but yeah, probably 6 months before you would, I'd say you give it a fair assumption if it's any good. I've been trialing this 3.5, nearly 4 weeks now, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen the fish enjoy it, but I can't honestly say that I've noticed any difference in coloration and things like that. But I find that with every food, I'm just a little bit more skeptical, I guess, as to whether foods and also like minerals and things like that in the aquarium actually make a difference. I know they do, you know, from like obviously reading the labels and stuff. Of course, there's got to be benefits to feeding more healthier organic food to your fish, but whether, yeah, it's hard to know if you were feeding the fish like a normal flake food, for example, if you'd notice any difference in the color and things like that. I'd have to play around with that more to give an honest sort of view on that point, I guess. Probably the last thing that I've got to say really is that I'd be very interested, of course this has fly larvae in it, I'd be very interested in trying a more, an actual live fly in my aquarium. So that's a plan for the future, is to get some actual like fruit flies or something and maybe try them with my fish and see if there's any, you know, if there's any behavioral differences and stuff like that. I've seen it with other live foods, and you know, it's certainly a difference between feeding live foods as opposed to, you know, like pellets and flakes and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be something interesting to try in the future, I guess. But yeah, that's all I've got to say really on the food front. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think of Bug Bites in the comments below. I just want to mention Bug Bites, there's actually a few different versions of this food, but yeah, for the sake of this review, this was the tropical formula, but they do fish specific ones as well, so it'd be interesting to try them maybe in the future. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and if you could, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I put out weekly videos on all my fish keeping journeys, so yeah, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you don't miss out. And until next time, you stay safe.
And my mind slips away back to a sunny day when England was okay and you came out to play.